the videos on the back side. So what you do is you go to the webinar and you download the videos. So do you know where to go with that? Let me actually do this right now. 1 second, guys. My apologies. So that we have some room. I think what happened is we ran out of room on the video, and it just cut it off. So still learning. Okay, just a second. Lunch break. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is what's happening. Okay. We got to download some of this video, and that'll help. So I need just a minute. If you want to grab something to drink or stand up and stretch, go right ahead. And then I'm going to just get these out of the way now. That won't take very long. That'll probably give us enough room. Okay. Yeah, I was saying I have 5 hours and 54 minutes of video used. Okay. That would make a difference. Okay, and I'm going to delete this first one. Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay. There, that did it. Okay. Enter. Can you hear me? Okay. Man, there's no resistance here at all, is there? This is not symbolic at all. Okay. So I'm going to look in your manual and tell you what page this is, because this is really worth your time to investigate this. And I have mine online here. And I'm looking at my book. That's why I'm quiet for a minute. But on all this starts on about page 20 in your manual. Then it explains about it. Then there is an exercise in the book on page 22 where you fill in your monthly bills. These are your monthly personal bills. Then you fill in your monthly income, okay? The difference, and then what you do is you're going to take your bills and multiply it times 3, okay? So if your bills are $5,000, and then you are going to say, well, 3 times 5,000 is 15,000, and if your monthly income is 10,000 after all of the sources, then what you need to do is to increase your income by $5,000. Did I do math right? That was in my head. I'm trying to talk. But we have a money exercise here that this is your homework, and to get this filled out up until page 26. And what I'm going to do right now, though, so that you have it on a recording, is take you through this process. Then I want you to go ahead and watch the little 4-minute video that's going to be posted on the membership site about the Fibonacci, because it is really interesting, and it gives the formula and gives a really better explanation about what that ratio of the golden mean is. So once you start applying this formula, then you can start doing it to other things too. I was in a mastermind meeting with my friend Mike, and he said when he is creating something, he always makes sure that there's this team of 3 on a project. And he said he just noticed that one is there kind of accountable, but he said for some reason those 3 people seem to work better. But so he's always creating this little triangulation, and maybe he's the 3rd person, but maybe he's passive and he's just doing accountability. But he always works in these 3s, and I noticed that everything that he was talking about, he was using 3s. Then he was actually, and I started looking at all of his notes, and the guy's a multimillionaire, and I started noticing the numbers that he was attracted to, and when it would be giving steps to do things, it was a Fibonacci number. Now, the Fibonacci number, now let me say it the way that the Fibonacci numbers. Fibonacci numbers. Get those correct. It's that sequence where it's the 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, right? 2 and 3 is 5, and so forth. That's the Fibonacci numbers. And so when we start applying our wealth to that, we can start actually increasing our money. And so whatever income you have right now, even though, with the debt or whatever, let's say you're going, I'm pretty good on my liabilities right now with the assets in my house. I am living in the ratio of the golden mean, but my monthly income is not where I want it to be. Then you can increase it. And the 3 is the starting point. Maybe right now you're in the ratio of the golden mean. So you could actually take that next number and go to 5, because 2 and 3 is 5. And you could increase your monthly income, increase that ratio by 5 to 3, right? And then it starts going up from there. Okay, I just got to note that my files have uploaded. There's a big windstorm coming through our area, and I think what's happening, that's affecting our internet. There's a lot going on here. There's a big thing kind of starting up, and there's electrical storms. And we're on Wi-Fi, but for some reason when we have bad weather in our area, it seems to affect it. So I just want to say in advance, if something happens that we lose connection, we'll just pick up tomorrow and get finished up with today. So don't worry about scrambling, trying to get back on if something happens, okay, because I will be unable to reestablish a connection. All right, so the plan in advance, and then also to let you know that tomorrow, all the notes, all the contact information for tomorrow's meeting is going to be in the membership area. So you go to that membership area, and I'm going to type it in there again just to kind of remind you that it's the why am I not able to type in there we go, www.kathrynperry.net/admin.php. Your password is the first initial of your name, in capital letters, and then your last name is in small letters. But if you had a name that was like a two-part name, we used like just your maiden name part, okay? So and then the password is Wealth 2013, and then this is also the password to get into the conferences that we're going to be using, okay? Then we found out how we can get all the videos uploaded, and then we decided to go ahead and create a separate YouTube channel. So you're going to be getting a Gmail circle, another Gmail circle invite that's related specifically to this conference so that you can be in connection with the other people, the other members. So if you wanted to find a practice buddy, but all of the videos are going to be uploaded into one place in the website, in the membership site. But it's also going to have a YouTube channel, which I'm pretty psyched about myself because it means it's a way more stable platform for you to watch the videos, okay? All right, and someone said, would you send that info in an email, Renata? Yes, we'll go ahead and do that, and that you have gotten that link before, but I'll make sure that we send an email out this evening. But all of the updates for your program are always going to be in your membership area, and you're going to be finding a bunch of videos there, okay? So this is going to be your little homework. You're going to do this exercise. Then you're going to be sure and watch the Fibonacci video, and then we're going to take, we have the command, but I'm actually going to take you through the commands right now. I mean, wouldn't that be great anyway, just to think about whatever your current income is right now, that you can increase your income by 3? Wow. And what would that be like to walk around with the feeling of a really wide base of wealth and success? So when you really start learning and applying these numbers, it makes a big difference. One thing that we are talking about on the debt is forgiveness of debt. And debt can get forgiven a lot of ways. When we are looking at debt, there are people that they do need to go ahead and take the legal solution. Maybe they're able to do what the gentleman in the story I told you earlier, that he had a system that was already in place. He had a way to go ahead and earn money right now and increase it. And the way he wanted to, that was in alignment with him, his level of energy, and what he wanted to create for himself, was to be able to work really hard and have that accomplishment of paying that money. And that's great. And we want you to be honorable and pay your bills. But if there has been something that has happened that you're unable to, or it's finally to the point that you need to take the legal solution. Now, I'm not an attorney. You're the only one that gets to determine that with your attorney to see what is the best route for you. Then don't feel shame about having to go into bankruptcy. When I meet people and talk to them, it's almost like a deep, dark secret that they have to admit. And, Harry Truman filed bankruptcy something like 5 times before he became president of the United States. And there are a lot of successful people that had to go through the learning process and had to really get this money thing right. So if you have to do that and you feel like there's a black mark on you, part of that black mark has to do with the way we were conditioned in school. Your credit report is a made-up thing, which has to do with your ability to get into more debt. Now in the U.S., our auto insurance rates are tied to that, and our employment, it's kind of become a web. But there is a solution to that, and there is ways to work out of that. But it starts with the forgiveness of the debt, forgiving yourself for incurring the debt. And this is, isn't that part of the Lord's prayers? Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. This is such an incredible process of creating wealth in your life and creating that space. And we had Lucy in a seminar, and she may actually be on today, that we were talking about this concept of forgiveness of debt. And this is also, too, just a little hint as we're tuning back to who we resent and what we resent, all those little things that we don't forgive or can't release. Our money gets tied up in that. And I was talking to Lucy about this because Lucy had had a very successful business, and she had a very good reputation, and the big economic downturn just about took away all of her business practically overnight. And as a result, she had to not only take out a second mortgage on her house, she had to go into a refinance progress, and her income got knocked down to, I think it's something like less than 25% than what it was before. This is a pretty big hit. And she's a single lady, and so it's not like she can say, well, honey, let's work together. So she was feeling really isolated in the situation that she was in, and she was always very proud of her status as a professional woman, an authority, and this really messed with her sense of self and her self-esteem. So here's a message that Lucy sent me, and this is just part of the message. But she said, Kathryn, remember how in our session you talked about forgiving my debt? Well, my beta mind was having none of that. When I came home from lunch to let the dogs out, there was an envelope from Chase, but I thought it was my final documents for my loan modification, but it wasn't. It was a document that said my second mortgage was forgiven. I just had to sign a document, no deficiency, all the interest fees, back payments were all forgiven, which was the actual word they used, plus the principal. The best thing was that I hadn't even asked for it, never filled out a form, made a phone call, nothing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think once I removed the blocks, everything just started flowing, yippee, and I just wanted you to know since you made it all happen. Now, some of the things that started happening for Lucy once she did this was the first thing that happened and showed up in her life was she had these crazy neighbors that had moved in next door with loud barking dogs, and they were leaving trash everywhere. Well, she came home from the seminar, and these people were all moved away. Because suddenly she noticed it was very quiet. And then went to go investigate and turned out, hey, they're gone. How did that happen? Then a client called her with a job, and then another client called her who owed her money and paid her the money. And then some contracts and referrals started coming in. Then she got a different loan officer to deal with who before, excuse me, my nose was itching, before was not even being cooperative at all with her and was kind of pushing her around. And she got somebody on the phone that was able to help her. Then she had a sweetheart. She had a really special friend who lived overseas and didn't really get to see him that often. It was someone she cared about, but it was a long-distance relationship. And a special offer came in that was going to enable her to actually go see him for less than half price. And just one thing after another just kind of started coming in. But what was just before all of this, after the time we did this forgiveness of debt piece and all this forgiveness, she had to, she was really questioning the one command and does it work? And finally she made the decision. She said, you know what? It has to work. I don't know of anything else that can work. This has to work. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it work. So she came into that power of decision. And she made commands for, I don't know how I let the one command work for me. Oh, do you like that one? If you're having trouble with the one command working, that you could actually say, I don't know how I let the one command work for me. There's an idea. And then that just started this big flow of everything coming in for her. So we're going to talk about this forgiveness piece because forgiveness is an act of faith. You're not necessarily going to feel it at first. And this is something that a lot of people don't get. They want to, in theory, but there's this resistance that comes up, and sometimes it's forgiving themselves or forgiving other people. But they just are stuck. They can't let go of it. And the best thing that I can liken that to is like if you've ever seen one of those optical illusions where there's the two tables and one is long, looks like it's long and skinny, and the other it looks like it's short and fat and square. And you look at these two and you go, there's no way, it can't happen. But then they bring out the little measuring stick and they both measure and you go, okay, logically I see that works. But then take the little measuring stick away and it doesn't make sense again. Well, it's kind of like that with forgiveness. Intellectually, you can get it, but you don't really have that sense in your feeling state, in your normal perception of what forgiveness is, what it looks like, feels like, sounds like. And, you know, when you forgive, at first sometimes it's forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to have been abused, or like what I had to do with Scott, where I said, hey, I put myself in that situation even though I had a good intention, even though I thought I was being clear. I actually had the power to say no all along, right? Well, it's the same for you. First, you have to acknowledge your role in what you created there. And even if it was something that happened when you were really teeny and small, this isn't blaming the victim. But what you really need to forgive yourself for is the fact that you haven't let go of the memory, or you haven't got it resolved, and you allow that memory to play itself over and over and over again, and wounding yourself and re-wounding yourself. And then not allowing yourself, I'm going to try not to cry, to be in the relationships that you really want to be in because of this wound. Not let yourself have the love that you deserve or the success that you deserve, because you won't let go of the story. And that's what we're talking about in forgiving yourself, not that somebody hurt you. And I understand that. As a small child in my birth family's father, you know, in that family, we actually were sexually abused, and I didn't get to have the memories until I was an adult. And all the things that I did as a wild young woman, I never felt any shame for, because I felt like I did it out of choice. But those things that were done to me, I felt tremendous shame and embarrassment and powerlessness. And it really began a very painful journey. And I wound up getting cancer, not once, but 3 different times because of the wound in my body. I was diagnosed 3 different times with cancerous cells. And at one point, they thought I was going to have a hysterectomy. But I got busy, and I started doing the spiritual work. And there was a spiritual passage that said, when I was silent about my sin, my body wasted away. But when I turned to you, your loving kindness healed me. And I allowed myself to go into that greater space and receive that healing in faith. And every day, I had to make the conscious decision to forgive my dad, and to forgive the experience, and forgive everything that stole away from me. And then I had to forgive myself for all the relationships that I created and recreated. And we would take turns abusing and hurting each other. And I had to go through a big process on that. And it takes a lot of faith, because you have to get in a relationship with something greater than yourself to really be able to go through that. And that is here right now. And this is what's really going to release you from the bonds of your debt and the bonds of your struggle. And it's not a get out of jail free for the other person. It is releasing you out of that prison. And this allows them to get the healing and the transformation that they need. And that's a little point that I want to make, because as long as you hold them in the position of being an abuser or somebody who's hurt you, or even the credit card companies or the companies that you're in debt to, in power over you in the position of being an abuser, then that means you have to hold yourself in the role and position of being a victim. And it feels kind of comfortable. It feels easier. I mean, because then we don't want to be there. Intellectually, we get it. But there's somehow emotionally, because then we wouldn't know who we are. And the fear that's actually behind that is that we could cause harm to someone else. Because in the beta brain, in our ordinary thinking, it's an either-or. It's black and white. It's duality and dichotomy. And forgiveness is inclusive. So when you allow yourself to shift out into forgiveness, and you allow the idea that just like you have investigated and committed to changing and transforming your life and wanting to make a difference, we actually free that other person up. We unfreeze them too. And you may never ever see that person again, but you'll be free, and so will they. And everything that we're brought into this planet to do is about reconnecting and finding that connection. And Gandhi said that the change that you want to see in the world, you must be. And it starts with having the courage to forgive. So I'm going to take you through a forgiveness meditation. By the way, once I was able to, in faith, give that forgiveness to my dad, it made it a lot easier to start receiving forgiveness from the people that I had hurt, either consciously or unconsciously. And it deepened every relationship that I had. And up until the time that I was able to really experience the forgiveness, I never really could allow myself to be in a relationship, be close, because I thought somehow I was going to wind up hurting someone. And I never wanted that. So we're going to go ahead and settle in, relax, and we're going to go ahead and close our eyes. Allow yourself to ground. Bring your attention to your heart and all that love you have in your heart. And we have that younger version of you that hurts, that needs to be supported, that's been frozen and trapped. And you're ready to get out of that debt. You're ready to be released. Just let that love in your heart shine on every aspect of who you are and who you've always been and who you're destined to become. Right now, as you think about that situation or that person that hurt you, I want you to think about the feeling of this hurt. This feeling is a feeling that you've been avoiding and not wanting to face for a long time. It's hard. In fact, you've pretty much ordered your entire life around making sure that you don't have to go through this again. I want to invite you to just allow yourself to breathe into this space and this feeling right now. And I want you to realize, too, that this experience happened in the past. It's over. And yet there's something unresolved and unfinished about this situation. It was something that you needed, but that need never got met. There was something you needed to hear. There's something you needed to experience. Something that needed to be acknowledged. And maybe it's something as simple as, it really was not your fault. You did the best you could. You trusted. You did what you thought was right. Or maybe you were made to blame. Maybe you were punished, and that was unfair. And that part of you that's frozen in that scene, that little movie that plays over and over and over again at that cellular level that's been asking for help. Are you ready to go and take that younger version of yourself out of that situation once and for all? And I want to just invite you to take that part of you, who you were in that moment, and bring that part of you up into your heart. And the one who hurt you with the situation that caused you harm, I just want to invite you to let that light on your heart to shine on it so that you can have a new understanding, a new perception about what that was. And allow yourself to say, it's like, you know what, this hurt me. I have been angry and no one has cared. But it's over. It's over. And I don't know how to forgive this situation. I don't know how to release it. I don't know how to have trust or faith that this could really change or I could be free. I only know that I am making the decision right now to be free. And right now, as you're standing in this space, I want you to know that there's a lot of helpers seen and unseen with you right now, and I am right here with you right now, supporting you and witnessing your greatness. You never, ever have to go through this alone again, ever. We're here for you, and we're here to help you leave this place. And if you're ready, let's take this situation and wrap it in a ball of light, and wrap yourself in this ball of light from your pure heart. And let's go up together, right up through our hearts, right up to the top of our head, all the way up, 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 into the black void of space. Breaking through that blackness, busting through that light into the greater potential. And just allow that burden that you have carried all these years. And maybe you harmed someone and you haven't been able to forgive yourself. Whatever it is, just allow that pole of light to just suck up all that resentment and regret and that anger and that hurt and the shame that has bound you. Let that light pull that all up out of you. Release it like a black balloon right into the white light. Oh, it's not yours to deal with anymore. There's something greater that knows exactly how to heal this. There is a part of you that knows exactly how to release this and transform this energy. There's a part of you that knows exactly how to heal and to be restored. And maybe consciously you don't know how, but maybe you could trust that part of you that knows how. And if you can't find the part of you that you know that knows how to deal with this, maybe you could trust that greater part of you. Maybe you could trust that God part or that greater intelligence or the universe part of you. Maybe you could trust an angel or a saint to show you. Or maybe even an innocent little child who radiates pure grace and forgiveness. Every day is a new day, and maybe you need to be as that little child is. Let that part teach you. But just allow yourself to come into this greater space right now. Eyes up. I don't know how to believe and trust that it is possible to forgive and to be forgiven. I only know I am free to forgive now, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how to receive forgiveness and allow myself to be forgiven for hurting myself and causing hurt in others. I only know I am free to be forgiven now, and I am fulfilled. Just let that go. And I don't know how it feels to live my daily life without this suffering of the pain of regret and resentment. I only know I am choosing right now to live my day-to-day life, moment to moment, in faith, in grace, and loving kindness now. And I am fulfilled. Just allow that to continue to expand out. Let your eyes relax for just a moment. Allow that to go to an idea even greater that serves more good. I don't know how my broken heart is healed. I don't know how I forgive the losses in my life. I don't know how the money, the time, the energy that has been lost because of this unforgiveness in the situation is restored to me. I only know that I am brought back into right standing now. I am free. I don't know how to forgive the debts that I incurred out of greed or fear. I don't know how. I don't know how my debts are forgiven. I only know my debts are forgiven now. And I go free. I am free of the burden. I don't know how I allow the feeling of lightness and freedom and joy to permeate every cell and fiber of my being. I only know I am a light being now, and I am fulfilled. Ooh, let's just bring that back. Oh, yeah. Feel yourself just coming back into a new position inside of yourself. I'm trying really hard not to cry, but I'm just feel yourself coming back in this new open space of freedom, of lightness, of ease. And let's just unwind all of that old neurology of separation, anger, regret, resentment. Let's just let that go. Bring your attention back into your heart. Let that light in your heart, let all that new information mix and mingle with your heart. Now, we're going to actually pull that heart light and that energy that's coming down through the top of your head. I want you to bring that right down into your stomach. Yeah, into that animal part of you, that all of this fear and anger and hurt and pain threw you into pure survival mode. You weren't expecting this one. I want you to just rub your tummy and feel that warmth, that love and that light and that joy coming in right here, right now for you. Allow that reptilian part of your brain to get all of that nourishment. And let's just say there's good food, good water, good shelter here, good hunting. I have everything I need. Watch that little kid. Hey, and all that younger versions of you, watch all of them start to integrate, dance on that light, and be free, and just watch that younger part of you growing up in this space of forgiveness and freedom and joy. Yeah, let that energy come all the way down into your feet, right down into the earth. Let's just bring up some earth energy to anchor in these good feelings now. Oh, yeah, that's really good. And you may actually feel your body adjusting. I'm sorry, you may hear me kind of wiggling a little bit as these new feelings of lightness and ease are literally coming up into your joints, coming up into the organs, the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, right into that fascia, right into the cells, right into the vessels and the arteries and the veins. Those every cell and all of the organs starting to get this forgiveness and this light. This light is dancing off those water molecules and it's making these amazing sparkles. Oh, yeah. And then now there's new signals of joy and happiness and new patterns being formed in your brain, new circuitries of peace and reconciliation, of inclusion, freedom. Oh, yeah. And you may notice there's these little vortexes of old thoughts just starting to kind of like unwind and release and pop out. Just let those go. Bringing your attention back to your heart. When that feels complete, let me know. When you're ready, open your eyes. And for this one, I'm going to just kind of encourage you to stretch, move around, stand up, kind of stomp your feet a little bit. Oh, yeah, that feels good, doesn't it? Isn't that nice? Ooh. Now, I am going to grab a YouTube video real quick, so I just want to let you adjust yourself. And when you feel like you're ready to talk, I want you to do me a favor and type in some of your impressions in the chat box there, and I want to get your feedback. We're going to create a little open forum. So I've got a song that I want to end the day on after we have a chance to talk a bit. And Karen Drucker is the one that I just love her music, and she's just so, she just lives in joy. She has fun with it. I think this is the one. Okay, now that I know that it's there, yeah, that's the one. Whoops, now I lost it. Apparently you can't stop it. You have to pause it. Oh, is that because I stopped receiving wrong? There we go. Good, good. Now let me come back to you. All windows. There we go. All right. We had some folks that had to go to bed, so they're shutting down. And then I just would love to get your feedback on what you experienced there, on that forgiveness. What did you discover there? And Sandy, is everybody able to hear me okay? I think everybody's still kind of maybe emotional. But yeah, that was kind of a heavy piece. I've got Estelle and some folks typing now. No, I'm not playing it right now on purpose. Everybody's typing, and I do want to get their message here. Okay? Yeah, she said really powerful. She felt a little nauseous towards the end, but it was stuff releasing. It absolutely was. Renata said she fell asleep. That's absolutely normal because this is a very powerful one. The part of you that was resistant had to go offline. And so you'll definitely hear this one again. Tatiana's saying incredible, very emotional, lighter, freer. Everything's okay. My heart's open. Well, I tell you what, I almost wanted to cry at one point. I was just starting to see different people and these different pieces. And just so much love and grace there. I'm going to try not to cry. Okay. I just love you guys. I really do. And you every person here, I know all you guys, and you have such amazing gifts and talents, and you have so much to offer. And to think that there's something that's been hurting you and holding you back for so long, and the pain that you've been in, it just breaks my heart. But really what these tears are, it's like joy or happiness. I'm just feeling connection. When I feel beauty or truth, love, tears come. And I'm just loving you so much right now. I'm just kind of in my heart. Wow. She says Louise worked on forgiving someone back in the 70s. She feels free. I'm definitely working the long list she has to forgive. Thank you. I'm going to pull it together here, I promise. That was emotional for me, too. There was, one of the benefits of being a presenter of this kind of work is we get a lot of healing ourselves. Jerry, sweet Jerry, joy. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I think that this is a very nice note to end the day on. Now, I want you to have yourself a nice dinner or rest. If you can't, if it's late where you are, I understand that you can't do homework, but I would invite you, if it is late where you are, that means that you will have a long day tomorrow before you have to do this. So if you could spend, this is really only about 10 minutes to do that exercise on the money, and then we're going to start the day tomorrow with doing the commands for the ratio of the golden mean so that we can get that activated for you. And then tomorrow is probably one of our most exciting days, so I have tears here, that we're going to have, and where we're really going to be able to tap into our creative genius and start bringing all these programs and these teachings together. So, my darlings, let's end the day on just one more command, because you've been doing, this is a really heavy process day. We've done a lot of meditating. So there's just one command that I want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and just close your eyes and have you focus on your heart for just a moment. You may feel pressure in the front of your head, so just go ahead and massage your forehead because you've been up a lot. You're still very much in theta, so you don't have to worry about rolling your eyes up right now. And here's the statement I want you to silently make. I don't know how I have a deep, restorative, integrative sleep that allows me to wake up feeling refreshed and renewed and with new understanding. I only know I am waking up in the morning feeling great, feeling refreshed and integrated now, and I am fulfilled. Bringing your attention back to your heart, and I don't know how, all of the helpers that I need, seen and unseen, the guides and the friends and the support that I need, arrive to me in a way that works best for me. I only know I have all of the help and support I need now, and I am fulfilled. When you're ready, open your eyes. I just want you to know how much I love you, how proud I am of you, how honored I am to be in your life. I know my life's much better because of it. And I witness your mastery, my darling. So until tomorrow, this is Kathryn Perry and my dear, wonderful friend, Sister Sandy, signing off until next time. Bye-bye.